Good morning, marine innovators. We've got a great show for you this morning. Mr. Phil Stefanik is here, and he is going to teach us about propellers. He and I have had a fun conversation so far. Phil is a storyteller. I think he's going to be entertaining, and he's in a really unique position right now that is kind of giving him some freedom, but at the same time keeping his passions alive. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, give us an overview of the company Turning Point.
Well, I was building a propeller called the Hammerhead propeller years ago, and my partner passed away, and the family thought they were going to be millionaires instantly, and so that kind of fell apart. But in the meantime, I'd met Dixon and Eben, and Eben was looking to start a propeller company in Taiwan. And one thing led to another, and after a year or so, we bought the patent off of Sam's family.
Okay.
And started Turning Point from there. And Eben was the money man, Dixon was the salesperson, and I was a technical guy.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. We love to have technical guys here. That's the fun part. We're talking about innovation. How can you innovate without having somebody technical?
All right. Well, I had probably the most fun part of the whole job. So.
Yeah, I'll bet. So we were talking earlier, and Phil told us an amazing bit of information that I'm still having a hard time chewing. He said that, and I'll let him tell you. He said that he's designed every one of these propellers, and if you look at the Turning Point catalog, there's a lot of them. Right? He's designed every one of these propellers without a computer. That's mind-blowing.
Well, if you're as old as I am, it's not. But yeah, every prop, I was given the chance to design new stuff. And there's just not new stuff in a computer. So what we would do in the shop is I would take an existing blade and sometimes cut the blade off or cut it in half or 2/3 and then weld it and, change the pitch, the rake angle, the cupping, to do what I wanted it to do. And I've been awfully lucky over the years in that I've got to drive just about every boat motor combination going.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So I knew what I wanted a prop to do on a specific boat, because I started out in the bass boats years ago, back in the early 80s. And bass boats at that time weren't getting enough lift. So I started playing around with cup and tip cupping. And back then the chopper props from Mercury were the hot prop, but they wouldn't get on plane. So I learned how to roll the leading edge just enough to give it the bite. And then once it was up and running, because you only use two areas of the blade. You use the leading edge to get up on plane, and that changes to the back third of the blade, the cupped area and the tip. And you're actually only using a third of that blade when you're up and really running.
Wow, that's interesting. Who would think that? For sure. So let me ask you a couple questions. When you design a new prop, when you say, hey, I'm going to make these changes on this prop, what do you do at that point?
Just start grinding, welding, changing the geometry of the blades.
So yeah, but once you have it, I didn't ask that correctly. I'm interested in once you have what you think is a new design.
Oh, then we're out in the boat testing. I have probably got more seat time testing props than anybody that I know. Yeah, I've been extremely lucky that way. Sometimes 3/4 of my time with Turning Point was out running boats.
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty cool. I didn't have to
There's
sit in
worse
the
things
office.
to be doing.
Yeah.
For sure. So that's awesome. So right now, Phil, you're doing something pretty unique. You told me that you're retired, but you're here in front of us. How could that be?
Well, yeah, I retired, and we had a little party, and and everything was cool there. And I went home, and for 6 weeks I was bouncing off the walls. I'm the kind of guy that's got to keep busy doing stuff, something. And I finally called my partner and said, listen, I got to come back to work. And he said, well, how? And I said, well, I live in a motorhome and I travel all summer, so I said, well, I'll answer the telephone. I can answer that from anywhere in the country. And so far, I've answered it in all 48 states and 6 provinces.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I love that you kept track of it, too. That's super cool.
Well, I got a map. That's the only way I know.
That's
My
great.
wife's got that on the coach.
That's great. So actually, Phil and I met in Atlantic City, so it's kind of funny. You know, we're looking for people in Northeast Florida that are doing innovative things, and I meet Phil in Atlantic City and realize he's right here in Jacksonville. Again, another great company doing some really, really great things. So, Phil, if now since you're not retired anymore, I can continue to ask you questions. Since you've designed these propellers, is there one that stands out to you to say, "Wow, that's the beast. That's the one that really outperforms the others"?
Yeah, the 4-blade. I actually brought one here to show you.
Okay.
And it's got 2 cleaver blades opposing 2 round ear blades. Now, cleaver blades tend to lift the transom of the boat. The round ear blades tend to lift the bow.
Oh, this is what you were telling me about in Atlantic City. Yeah.
So as a boat, most boats plane, the bow comes up and hangs there for sometimes 15, 20 seconds before it's flat
Right.
and is running. While with my 4-blade, as the bow comes up, the transom raises with it.
Oh, so you get an even flattening of the boat.
It flattens out and you can see over the bow while you're getting on plane, and it's faster. And then when you're up and running, the boat runs higher horizontally out of the water.
Wow, that sounds really cool.
You get a higher, drier, softer ride. They corner like they're on rails. And all of our props have vent holes if you look behind each blade.
Oh, yeah.
And that helps free up, the exhaust leaks out over the next blade and creates a little bit of slippage, and that's what kind of breaks the prop loose quicker and gets you on plane quicker. And once you're on plane, the holes do nothing because the exhaust is blowing through the hub so hard it seals the hole.
Oh, wow, very cool. So I'm still blown away with how you could experiment to get that kind of result. What did you know about achieving that result? Obviously, you wanted to achieve that result,
right?
What were the things you were thinking when you designed it? Without giving your trade secrets away, of course.
No, there's no trade secret, really. It's just magic, I guess. No, I was in Chicago when I started that project, and I had a lot of IOs, and the IOs are transom heavy. They sit deep in the water in the transom, and to get them to run good, Mercury had cleaver props. And they were good to a point. They would lift the transom, but they weren't always the fastest prop, or the best performing prop. And I said, well, why can't I incorporate a cleaver with some round ears to give it a little bit more bite and more lift? And talked to my partners, and they said, go with it, see what you can do. And about 14 months later, after 80 different prototypes I hand built.
80 different prototypes.
And 80 trips or more to the lake.
Wow.
I got the desired results that I was looking for.
Now, is that result pretty consistent across all boats, or is it?
Most boats.
Okay.
Not all boats. There are some boats hate 4-blades.
Okay.
They just don't, the hulls just don't like a 4-blade. They need a 3.
Interesting.
And some need a 3-blade with less rake, less pitch progression, and others need high rake, a lot of pitch progression with pretty heavy cup.
Got it.
So, and the thing with props is kind of strange. Because of the pitch progression, when you measure from the leading edge to the cup or trailing edge, it'll start out at 13 pitch and go up to 23 pitch in the cupped area. But it's actually a 19 pitch prop.
Oh. Taking an average? Is that how it's working?
Yeah, you kind of take an average. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, this is super cool. I don't know if you guys can see this on the camera or not, but really, really neat design. 4-blade prop that's just pretty spectacular. When you took it out of the box, I went, ooh. And yeah, very good. Very nice stuff. Good quality, heavy.
Yeah, they are heavy.
For sure.
Probably a little too heavy, but
yeah.
That's
durability.
Didn't want them coming apart.
Yeah, no kidding. We all have had props damaged.
Every prop company,
Yeah.
I don't care how good they are, they'll lose a blade or a hub will go bad or something. And we're no different. I mean, we have problems. But cool thing with Turning Point is we stand behind our product 100%.
Good.
If
Good.
a blade flings, you get a prop back.
Good.
We don't argue with it.
What's your website?
I honestly don't know. I think it's turningpointpropellers.com.
Nice. I bet if you go search Google for Turning Point Propellers, you'll find it.
You'll find it. Yeah,
that will tell you right there how dedicated this man is to technical stuff on that propeller. He doesn't even care about the website. He's just going to go build something to rock and roll.
The computers, I just, I have a hard time even turning my computer on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what's next for you? I know that you're retired, as we'll say it. But what are you doing right now, thinking about the advancement of props?
Well, there's a new ring prop called Cheryl.
Okay.
It's out there. I worked on a few of those before I retired. That's probably the newest thing. It's not always the best prop for the boats. I mean, the advertising tells you differently, but it's like our props. Some boats run fabulous with them, and other boats just run so-so. So, but as far for me, the guy who took my job over has been a friend of mine for almost 50 years.
Oh, good.
In fact, he got me into the business, and he is pretty sharp. His name is Tim Hackney, and we work together, quite often. He'll throw questions at me, and I'll throw questions at him, and say, hey, what are you going to design next? And he's got probably 4 or 5 new props on the table.
Got it.
Hasn't finished them, but he's working on some stuff. Yeah.
So, does he use a computer?
Sometimes, I think. He's kind of like me. He's more old school. Yeah. I mean, we do most of the stuff by eye, by feel, with a pitch and rake gauge.
I think that's so cool.
You don't need a computer to check the pitch and rake of a propeller. If you have, and my gauges are all 40 years old, and they're still as good today as they were 40 years ago.
Sure.
So, I mean, it is nice, when I go to Taiwan and they have all the computers and they start building our molds and stuff. It's super cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm just too old to be
learning that
part of it. Let me stick with what I'm good at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you've done a nice job, and there's value in what you've created. So, so we do this game here on our podcast. We do it every time. Some people love it. Some people are like, ugh. But what we do is a rewind game where I just pick out a random year, and then I ask you what you did that year. So today I'm going to pick a year for you, 1986.
86 was, I owned a prop shop in Chicago, and I was working in my prop shop. And working, I believe we were just starting Hammerhead Propeller back then. And I was fishing bass tournaments all across the country.
Oh.
So, stayed pretty busy that way.
Yeah.
Had 3 sons, so my wife kept really busy with them, so I could go away.
You can go fishing. That's pretty good. And you said you've been married for how long?
54 years.
Wow, that's a good run.
Yeah.
That's a good run.
I've been lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, that's pretty cool. Tell me about your prop shop in Chicago.
Well, I started that in late 79 in my garage. And
like most small businesses start.
Right. Yeah. And probably worked a year and a half or so, almost 2 years in the garage. And then I grew out of the garage, found a building to rent, and I rented the building. And lasted there a couple of years, and we expanded some more, and I got a bigger building. And then my last shop that I had a storefront and a complete shop.
Oh, cool.
So.
And that was refurbishing blades? Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, fixing them.
Awesome. So your shop, your storefront would have like used blades that you repair?
Oh, yeah. In fact, one time I had over 800 used propellers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had them everywhere.
Wow. Back to what we said, right? Every propeller sees its day, right?
Well, that and, where I was at, we had so many different motors. I mean, we had 6-horse OMCs from the 40s and newer props, but a lot of older stuff. IOs, tons of IO props. And they were all different over the years. As Mercury come out with a new drive, they would change a prop. And so, back then it was a lot of fun, but if you were, I was super, super lucky because I was able to get out and run these boats. So I knew basically what prop should go on what motor.
Right.
And that was a great start for me. And consumers would come in and say, I need a prop for the boat. And then my first question is, well, what do you got on it now? What pitch is it? And how many RPMs does it run? And 50% of the time, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
well, then you got to go home, put the prop back on, run it, and then.
I was just thinking to myself, I don't think I
info.
can answer that.
Yeah, most guys can't.
Yeah.
But it's critical because once I know what pitch you have and what the maximum RPMs of that motor is and where you're at in that range, then it's all mathematics.
Got it.
If you're too low or too high in pitch and too low in RPMs, then I know for every 2 inches of pitch we drop you'll gain 400 RPM.
Oh, wow.
Or you'll lose. If you go up, you'll lose 400 RPM for every 2 inches of pitch. So it's just math.
Yeah, that's super cool.
But then again, too, you have to wonder, well, do you need a high rake prop on this boat or a mid rake prop or a low rake prop, progressive pitch, constant pitch? So, there's a bunch of things. Most people don't understand all of that or don't even want to know it. But if you know it, then you can prop a boat correctly.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, it sounds like you've created a level of expertise in a really niche area, right?
Really small.
Which
area.
Has allowed you to create value that no anybody else can in the industry. So, do you know other people like you?
Yeah, I do. I'm one of the first 10 guys to start the National Marine Propeller Association.
Oh, wow.
I was me and Tim actually we signed up, I think, the same week. And I was on the board for years, and I helped write the training and certification committee program.
Got it.
So
that's awesome. So yeah, having those kind of, early adopters, or the early innovators, I should say, in a specific niche industry, right? And having that friendship and relationship, much like what we're trying to do here on the podcast, is kind of build everybody's awareness of what's going on, so we can build relationship across the innovative people in the marine space overall. But you having this relationships across these others just makes it stronger. It makes the whole innovation world go faster.
Oh yeah, and it's fun. I mean, like going to a show where I met you.
Yeah.
There's guys that you only get to see once a year at these shows, and you've made really good friends with them.
Sure.
You get to talk to them once in a while on the phone, but you don't get to see anybody. So we do the shows, and we show our product, but it's also a meeting time for me to see all of these guys.
Yeah.
And other people in the prop industry that I can throw ideas at. There's some guys you can't throw an idea at because they think I'm going to steal their idea.
Right. Right. Protectionism.
Yeah, kind of. And I was that way with this prop. So.
Yeah, of course. When you got something that you really think is going to outperform others, you're gonna try and keep it secret.
Yeah.
Which is, hey, that's you'd be crazy not to.
There's a lot of cool people in the propeller industry. So
yeah, and the boating industry as a whole.
Oh yeah.
I feel blessed every day that we get to operate with the people that we operate with, and and everybody's just so down to earth. They're looking for innovation. They're looking for new things. How do I make this go faster? How do I make this run better? How do I catch more fish? How do I It's everybody's looking to advance in that space, which is super cool. And
most people are thinking the same way you are because they own the boat.
Yeah.
So
yeah, right.
Which is kind of nice. It's kind of like owning the motorhome. I've met an awful lot of people that have motorhomes, and boy, when you see them, you got a ton of things to talk about.
Right.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah, that is cool. That is very cool. So, at this point, are you going to remain semi-retired?
I am. I'm going to continue doing, taking the phone because I'm the company expert actually. So it's just easy to do for me. Call me and I do answer the phone. And I return phone calls.
Nice.
Which there are a lot of businesses don't, but I make
true.
it a point because I'm old school. And I would rather talk to you than text you.
Oh yeah, I agree totally.
I've had a couple of guys say, no, I'm only going to text. Well, then call somebody else. Because I'm not going to answer a text. I'm going to sit there and punch in each one with a finger.
That's right. When I can communicate with my mouth.
these young people with their thumbs going 100 mile an hour, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Yeah, it's obviously became a very amazing way that people are communicating these days, and it's incredible. But I agree with you. God gave us a voice, right, to connect with each other, to build relationship with each other, and that's what we should be doing.
And you do that by talking to one another.
Absolutely, for sure.
So
yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
mindset
I'm going to continue. I'm 77 now, so I mean, if I live to be 85, I'll still do this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because it's all I know.
It's all you know.
I mean, don't ask me about football, baseball, basketball, or props and boats. That's my entire life. My wife kind of gets on my case about it. Well, you need to expand. I don't want to expand.
I know props.
It's not fun. Yeah.
I think you should create a position for yourself called the prop mentor, right? And your job is to mentor people in the prop industry.
They call me the prop wizard.
The prop wizard. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's just as good as mentor, I suppose. Wizards making magic happen. Mentors are teaching others how to make magic happen. Right? You're probably both, I'd imagine. So we met at the Mesco show. How do you guys typically go to market? How do you buy these things?
Like West Marine carries all our props, and there's I guess there's just a ton of people now selling them. And again, I've never been at that end of the business, so other than when we first started, the marketing guy Dixon said, "Phil, we got to sell these somehow." I said, "Why don't we put a group of props and hubs together in one place on a shelf so people can walk up, and read our literature and go, oh, well, I need this prop and this hub." I said, well, sounds good to me. Let's do it. And we did it and took it over to West Marine, and the store manager fell in love with it.
Oh, great.
That was never done before.
Great.
So
yeah, that's awesome. So it's a kind of it's standalone POP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very nice. They love it when you come into programs like that. They're all detailed, and of course you need to have product that performs.
And we do two things at Turning Point. One, all of our harder hubs are warranted for a lifetime. Our new rubber-coated hub for the 4 strokes is fully warranted for a year. And we offer a pitch exchange program. So whether you buy it online or you buy it from West Marine or you buy it from your dealer, if the pitch isn't correct, you call me, tell me what it's doing or not doing, and I tell you, what prop to go with, send it into our office, and we've got it all online. They can go online and do the pitch exchange program. It's all one sheet that they fill out with the prop and they send it in.
That's great.
And that's really been fantastic.
Yeah, I can imagine that's that next level of customer service that small business
something I did in my shop. If you bought a prop from me and it didn't run, I exchanged it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we started Turning Point, I said, this is something we got to do.
Why is that so uncommon these days?
Well, a lot of dealers that sell these, if you run it once, it's used. That's their thought. No, we don't want to take it back. Well, if you run the stainless used,
wipe it off.
Or one time, you clean it off,
put it back in the
box. Put it in a box.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's still the same prop that's never been run.
Exactly.
But
interesting.
So we decided, no, we're going to have the pitch exchange program, and it is really helpful.
Yeah, that's a really neat way to go about it for sure. And then make it an official program that you tell people, hey, this is if you buy it and it's wrong, and we can get better performance out of something else, we'll do it.
Yep,
it's good.
And most of our stuff is a little bit cheaper, than the OEM.
Oh, is it?
Props and hubs, yeah.
Got it.
So, and we try to keep it that way, just a tad below. We're not the cheapest, but we're surely not the most expensive.
Yeah, good. That's good. That's a nice spot to be in for sure. So explain this prop to me.
Well, we've got 2 cleaver blades. If you look at the cleaver blades, now if you're an engineer or you're a machinist and you buy one of our props and you measure it, I get a phone call instantly. Oh, the blades are off. What do you mean the blades are off? Well, the two straight edge cut blades are larger in diameter than the round ear blades. Exactly, that's how I designed it. Well, it's not going to run. It's going to vibrate. No, it's not going to vibrate. So, and then we have the round ear blades, but the cleaver blades tend to lift the transom of the boat. Where the round ear, when you're up and running, the round ears, when you start trimming, carry the bow a little higher.
Mm.
So again, the entire boat is running higher horizontally out of the water, as opposed to just the bow coming up. So
I love it.
And yeah, this is the one I'm really proud of.
So, have there been disasters in your career?
Oh, of course, hundreds of them.
Those are the stories we like. Tell us a disaster.
Well, not disasters, but I've had a few props that I've designed that I went out the first 24 times. After modifying them, I could not get them to work on a specific boat motor combination. So, but you learn.
Yeah.
When you do something and it changes something in the way the boat handles, it can either be a good thing or a bad thing. And that one prop was just a bad thing. So, and again, like this prop here, I probably hand built 80 prototypes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Before I got I knew what I wanted out of the boat, and the ride and the speed and the whole shot. I knew what I wanted, and it took me that many times to get it.
Wow. So Matt is in the market for a blade, just so you know. So before you leave here, you have to sell him on why he needs a turning point.
Well, so we know. Like I have a Scout, 22 foot.
22
Got a
Scout.
150 Yamaha.
Probably either our 1515 or our 14.5 17 four blade. Now, four blades traditionally are slower than three blades, and it's 1 to 2.5 mile an hour depending on the boat. So if you don't mind losing, a mile or two an hour, a four blade is the best all around performing prop. Period. Whether it's my prop or Mercury's prop, or, Yamaha's, but they handle, boat handles better, gets on plane better, corners better. They carry a heavier load better than a three blade, but a three blade will be sometimes 4 to 5 mile an hour faster, depending on the style of the boat and style of the prop.
So I've driven Matt's boat, and I know that it turns better to one side than it does the other side. And
yeah, well, that's prop torque.
Prop torque?
Mm-hmm. Because the prop's always going right hand. So it wants to turn the boat to the right, so you're fighting the steering wheel to the left.
Yeah.
So there's a trim tab above the propeller. If you turn that trim tab all the way and come back halfway and lock it in, that eliminates some of that steering torque for you.
Oh, nice. There you go, Matt. There you go. Boom. So, good stuff. So, is there anything that you wanted to share with us that we haven't talked about today?
Not really, other than we build props from 6 horse all the way up to the new 400s.
Oh, wow, 6 horse? Little tiny little ones?
Yep, little bitty ones. And we've got a new OS. That was the last prop I worked on before I retired. And that's a 15.6 diameter for the bigger boats.
Got it.
When you get up to 23 and above, you need the diameter to carry the hull because it's so long. And the OS prop does that. And we've been putting, hundreds of them on the new Suzuki motors because they have totally different gearing than any other motor, and they need a large diameter prop.
I've heard a lot of great things about the Suzuki motors recently.
I love it. I got a 200 on my Mako.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Super, fantastic motor. We go down every year. We go down for a week to Chokoloskee, Marco Island area,
the
10,000 Island area to go fishing, and I've been going there for almost 30 years. And we, 3 of us in the boat, and sometimes we'll run 40, 50 miles south to get away from everybody, and run back and fish for 4 days, and only use a little over half tank gas.
What?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Wow.
When I had my OMCs and my Mercs, you'd run out of gas.
Right.
And they're quiet.
Oh, yeah.
I really
the Yamahas
enjoy
are quiet, too.
We can run 30 mile an hour and talk like we're sitting here at the table.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which is nice.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I've enjoyed talking with you, Phil, for sure, and learned about technology, learn about your desire for props, right? And I say that laughing just simply because it's just such a unique thing. And when you find somebody that's dedicated their life to it, right, and passionate like you are about this, and again, I'm blown away that you did all this without a computer, right? That you've been able to build this stuff. And I don't know why that's bothering me or making me seem...
Well,
it's
no,
just
I say I don't use a computer, but once
still along the way, of
once
course.
I have that prototype built, then send it to our factory. Then the computers come out. You know,
yeah, it's got to be in the mix somewhere.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
But most of the time, and you know this, most of the time people today are playing with CAD and changing drawings.
Well, and they do that, but then they don't build 30 or 40 props
right
till they get the right, performance out of them.
Right.
They go, oh, well, this looks good, and we'll build it. Well, then you put it on 2/3 of the boats, it doesn't run that great. It runs, pushes a boat, but it just doesn't perform to the top level.
Yeah.
So,
no, I love that.
That's where guys like me come in. Prop shops around the country, if you bring a so-so prop in, they can modify it. You can bend aluminum and stainless steel, brass, nibral. I've done it to all of them, and change them to make them better. So, and that's the fun part of my business, or it was when I was, doing it for 30-some years.
Got it. Well, we've really enjoyed having you on our podcast today, and thank you for coming in. Sorry about the mix-up early on, and we had to delay things a little bit when Phil first got here, but we got him in here, and it was a good podcast. Good talking with Phil and understanding a little bit more about the props and Turning Point Propellers. Turning Point Propellers, folks, again, is out of Jacksonville, Florida. We're going to put the web address up on the screen so that you'll have it and you can see it. But go check them out. You can get it in most retailers today. West Marine, obviously, is a big one that you can find it at. But knowing the distribution places where I've met Phil, that there are probably lots of dealers that are carrying the props that you can go in and get the right one for your boat. And then if it's not the right one, you can call this guy right here, and he can say, oh, let me get you the right one. And I can understand exactly what's happening. That's super cool. That's the way small business should be in this country, and certainly it should be the way that we're doing it from an innovation standpoint. If you're truly trying to innovate and achieve a better result with something, you should stay behind that, right, and make sure that they are seeing the better result. We do it all the time here at Xanago and as well, and it's something that we don't take it lightly. You either get the result or you don't, and if you didn't, let us help figure out why and figure out how we can get you the result.
Sure. And one last thing, if you do call and I'm on the phone or I'm busy and I don't answer the telephone, leave a message with your name and phone number, and I will return that call.
Awesome.
If you don't leave me a message, you're not going to get an answer.
Right.
So, but I do answer phone calls.
That's great. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you guys on the next podcast. Again, Turning Point Propellers. Take a look at it. The 4-blade here that Mr. Phil Stefanik has designed is spectacular. I can't wait to go ride on a boat with one of these on it and see the difference, and talk to him about my little skiff as soon as we get off the air. See ya.